Welcome to Everyday Asphalt. My name is Jim Ward. I'm glad to have you here. The purpose of this program is to go a little bit deeper in the areas of materials, design, construction, and maintenance. And that's the whole function of Everyday Asphalt. We bring in speakers or guests, and we come in and we have a good conversation, have a good time, and we can always learn something from each other. Welcome to 2026. Going to be a great year at Apex and everything in the industry. And wow, it's we are ready to get it. Just to let you know that these programs are posted on TxDOT's YouTube site and also Apex Texas's website. They're also posted on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can listen to them in your truck or your car as you're driving down the road. Just remember to like, subscribe, and share so you're notified when one of these new programs comes up, which is every month. These air on the third Thursday of the month. And so by 5 o'clock on that Thursday, this program will be posted on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you can grab it if you're not watching the program live. So let's get started. Guest today is Brandon Trout, Vice President, Keller Company. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am so glad you're here.
Me too.
I've been wanting you to, ever since I've met you, I got to get this guy in the chair. Because this is like, this guy is, he's a contractor, but he's a good guy. And so I'm excited about it today. So walk us through kind of how did you get started in the business? What's your background?
So, back in 2008, the housing market crashed. I used to be a general contractor.
Okay.
I built custom homes.
Oh, did you?
In Arizona,
I did not
Florida,
know that.
Colorado.
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
where were you born?
I was born in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Grew up in Queen Creek, Arizona.
Okay.
And so
You moving?
I grew up on a farm.
Okay.
I was going to be a farmer. And then all of a sudden I saw all the farmers selling off to housing. So I said, I'll become a contractor. And I started building houses.
Okay. All right.
And then the market crashed, and I was sitting at home, and my wife told me she was tired of me. I thought I was just going to kind of retire, and I was young. She said, no, you can't. You got to go do something. So I went and worked for TxDOT, Arizona Department of Transportation,
Okay.
and became a quality control manager for them for asphalt.
All right. Oh, so that's
And
where you
just
got your
kinda-
taste of asphalt.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I learned quite a bit about asphalt
Okay.
at Arizona at
Okay.
TxDOT.
Okay.
And then I got hired by F&F Construction,
Okay.
based out of Tempe, Arizona,
Yep.
and was brought over here to Texas to open up Texas.
Okay. What year was that?
2016.
16. Okay. So for 10 years or so you've been here?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah,
And then from F&F, then you
from
went
F&F I went to Keller.
to Keller. And how long you been with them?
5 years now.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
just turned 5 years.
So you're about the same length with Keller that I've been back here in Texas, just
yeah.
about. Okay, cool.
So,
That's neat.
yeah.
That's neat. That's neat. So what's your title now? You're vice president.
Vice president.
So that pretty much means.
I'm in charge of. Well, I call myself the janitor.
Okay. All right. Okay. Why?
I'm always the one cleaning up messes. It seems like. So I just introduce myself as the janitor.
Okay. I like that. That works. That works.
But
That
no,
works.
I mean, we're pretty good. We've developed a pretty good program at
Good.
Keller.
Good deal.
So.
And so what I'd like to do today is we're just going to kind of go through a whole bunch of just topics. Okay. And we had lunch a couple weeks ago before
Yes.
Christmas, and I was like, we got to do this. We got to get this on tape because it's really good stuff. If you're a contractor, it's important. If you're a department, it's important. A consultant, it's important. It's really important to hear how these other people think, how these other organizations think, because there's definitely a contractor thought process.
Yes.
And there's a TxDOT thought process, and there's a consultant thought process. And I've not been a contractor, but I've worked for contractors for many decades now. But I've been a consultant, and I've worked for a DOT a long time ago. And there is a think there. It's not one that's one that's right, one that's wrong. It's just that they are what they are.
Right.
And so those are the things that we've got to, and I forgot to stop my timer, so we'll probably run over again today, but whatever. So let's get started kind of at the beginning. And because when we were talking, I was like, well, who bids your projects? And so
Yeah.
you said you're involved.
I'm very heavily involved in the bidding process. I give our estimators the information as far as production rates and things like that.
Okay.
I give the cost for our asphalt.
Okay.
I come up with the price, what price it is to run because I know our cost what it costs to run our plant,
Sure.
our crews, and all that. So I put together the hot mix price.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
And then our estimators put it all together in the neat package and submit it.
Okay.
And they do all the legwork and do all the stuff as far as pricing from quotes from subcontractors and stuff like that.
So what kind of work do you what kind of work do you do in house? You do all your own asphalt work.
Yes, we do asphalt. We do dirt work,
Okay.
earthwork. We have I think there's 7 earthwork crews
Okay.
that we have.
Okay.
So we do a lot of commercial projects, parking lots, and getting projects ready as far as for vertical construction, stuff
Okay.
like that, site pads. And
Okay.
things.
Okay.
So
So we go up and pave those then too?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're from a commercial all the way to kind of DOT.
DOT, yes.
DOT side.
Yep.
Are what's your split? Or probably varies year by year.
Yeah, year by year. Right now, our split has been pretty heavy on the DOT.
Okay.
Just in the probably the last 2 years, just
Yeah.
because the economy is slowed
Mhm.
for commercial stuff.
Yep.
It's starting to pick up now again.
Okay.
So probably in the next year or two, we'll probably be 50-50 as far as that split, hopefully.
Is that your comfort? Is that your company's comfort
Yeah.
zone kind of in that range?
Yeah.
Okay. Every company is different. They've
Yeah.
got their own mix of how they want it, which makes it interesting.
Exactly.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. You've got your dirt crews, you got your own asphalt crew, you got an asphalt, you got one plant or how many?
We have one plant.
One plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
A 300 ton an hour plant.
And
We
you
also-
move it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a movable plant. It's not a portable plant, but it is movable.
Transportable.
It's transportable. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but we also do aggregates,
Okay.
and so
You got how many quarry? You got 1,
3.
2, or how many?
I think we're 3 or 4.
3 or 4 quarries now. Okay. All right. Okay.
So-
So then you buy your binder, right?
Yes, we buy all binder.
And then trucking, you do.
Trucking, we have in-house trucking.
Okay.
We also use
And then
outside.
you supplement
yeah,
as
as we
needed,
needed.
depending
how many tons we are hauling for the
on
day.
where you're at.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you look at a project, that's going to fit your company's mix. What are the things that you look for that kind of fits a Keller job?
I try to find something that has a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I try to find a project because we also have concrete crews.
Okay.
And so I when I'm looking through, I look through the letting schedule, and I'll pick projects that have asphalt structures, not major structures, but drainage structures and things like that.
Okay.
We have and dirt work,
Do pipe.
the excavation
Yeah.
or embankment,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
And that way it fills the backlog for all of our departments. I do also try to pick a lot of projects that just focus on asphalt as well, because like a 50,000 ton project, we can pave that out in about 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're talking that kind of, we need volume to
Sure.
keep our crews and everything
Sure.
busy.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's my main focus, is trying to make sure that our paving and our hot plant stay focused and stay driven throughout the whole year.
So they're not running part-time, they're running.
Exactly.
They don't lose that focus.
Yeah.
They're doing it every day.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things we kind of talked about is when you're training those folks, and that
Yes.
kind of a big deal.
It's a huge deal because
with all
we notice in the past we haven't been as productive in the asphalt department. So on those down times, we take the crews and we take them over to the dirt work side or do different things with them. And when they go and do something other than asphalt, and then we come back to asphalt, they're having to retrain again, relearn it all again. So
It's a perishable skill set.
exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
I'd never thought
So,
about it that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
they lose focus on it, and they lose the drive.
Okay.
And so we found, or I found that if we keep them just in paving all year, then they're dialed in constantly.
Okay.
We're not
That
having
makes
to
sense. That makes sense. That makes
gear
sense.
up again.
When you look at a project is from a time, we talk about asphalt, speed of construction, we can get a lot of asphalt done. When you look at project time on a project, obviously, is there anything specific you look for there? Do you try to balance out what your production rates are
Yeah,
to what they think? Do you find that generally that they're pretty good, or do you sometimes see that there's like, ooh, what were they thinking?
Yeah, there's sometimes where you think, because some of the projects are really short, and so you think, wow, I don't know, but we can do it, but it's like, why couldn't they just give a little bit extra time?
Okay.
And then there's other projects where there's a lot of time, and we can do it a lot quicker.
Okay.
So it's kind of a give it.
Will you tend to get it done then and give it back to them early?
Try
you can?
to, yeah, when we can.
Okay.
The last couple of years we've kind of struggled only because of the weather.
Yeah.
We've had so much weather days. Well, I think last year we had 70 weather days.
Whoa.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean that
Whoa,
affects the
I did not
schedule.
know that.
Huge. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's huge.
Okay.
So
That's a long. That
yes.
is. Yeah.
It puts you back.
Yeah. I can
And
imagine
so then,
it puts you back.
and then then when you do have good
You're trying to
weather,
catch up.
yeah, you're trying to catch up. We're working Saturdays. We're working extra long days. We're doing everything we can to keep the schedule. And it when you lose that kind of time, you can't. You can't get the
you
schedule
can't.
back.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
lose a day or two, you can. But if you're losing
When you're losing 70 in
10
a whole
weeks,
day,
yeah, or
it's
10
bad.
calendar weeks, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So,
Okay, so anything else on kind of the bidding side of it that you guys have to look at from that perspective?
not really.
Other than just making sure that you got enough stuff to bid on?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing is just where to focus, where we can be competitive, and where we can put in a responsible bid, and we can get work and keep guys busy.
Good.
So that's my biggest focus. And so in the last probably year and a half, I've been moving towards the I-35 corridor area, just because that is where the work is. That's where the money is getting put. So we have to start focusing on that area so that we can get work and keep our crews busy. But we also have to be competitive, and we have to put in a responsible bid.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. The thing I express the most to our people is that when we do a bid, we bid it to cover our cost, our risk, and our markup. And other than that, it is what it is. As long as we're covering those bases, and we put in that bid, then we know that we bid it responsibly.
Okay.
No matter if we win it or lose it, we know we're covered. That way, we're not just buying a job.
Okay. You've never just like, oh, we're gonna just get
There have been times we've thought about it, but then it's like, well, we're not that in dire need of it.
Yeah.
So let's not.
Not like somebody's paving in front of your office in Fredericksburg, and you're like, oh, we got to get that.
We
job.
got. Yeah. No, and there's been times where we've bid jobs and we've in our backyard and we haven't got them.
Yeah.
We've not been the low bidder. So it's one of those things we try to bid responsibly.
Gotcha.
So
Well, that's good. I mean, you know what your costs are. You
Yes.
know, you're not going to get yourself in upside down, and
yeah,
and you know what it takes to build a job.
exactly.
Right. So that's cool. That's cool. So you said you got one plant,
Yep.
and now I've seen it in two different locations in the last few years. So you're not afraid to move your transportable.
My transportable plant,
plant.
moves. It's been in Junction. It's been
Yeah.
in Sonora. It's been to Brownwood, and now it's over in Burnett.
Okay.
So
So I missed the Sonora, but yeah. So that's, I mean, you know, that's one of the cool things about this state is you know, is it's so big, but it's also so diverse,
Yeah.
right? You got people that are building stationary plants, and this is what we do. This is our market area and stuff. And we got other folks like you and other contractors that say, hey, I'm going to go where the work is.
Exactly.
You know, and you're not afraid to go kind of mix it up.
Right.
Now the guys that are already there, like on the I-35 corridor, there's a lot of material, a lot of contractors in that, and I bet
Yes.
you guys had to have that thought, had that discussion.
I have been told several times that we can't compete in those areas. It's not worth our time. We shouldn't go over there. And I just keep pushing and saying, well, let's try.
Okay.
And so we've tried, and we were successful. We've got a project here on the 130,
Yep.
the toll road,
Yep.
there in Williamson County.
Yep.
So it'll start here probably in April.
Okay. Good
So-
deal. Good deal. Good deal. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah,
Good
thank
luck
you.
to you. I mean, that's the thing about this business is everybody's got to show up at the bid table.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
We just had a letting yesterday, and people
Yeah.
were showing up, and you look at the prices, and sometimes you go, well, those were right at cost, or just a little bit over, or those were way under, or sometimes those were way over, and you kind of go, well, okay, well, I wonder what happened on that job.
And that's the thing. I look at the trend as well. I look at all the trend, how the lettings go, and it's crazy how much some of them are way under the estimate,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of them are over the estimate, or some of them are right at the. So it's like a roller coaster, and so you can't really. And that's where I try to instill the fact of, as long as we're bidding with our cost, our risk, and our markup,
Yeah.
then we're covered.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, because you don't know their thought process at the bid time. They may need just a project, just anything to keep their crew and their equipment moving. So they may
we've
bid
heard
it
that.
very, very
Yeah.
low.
Yeah, we've
You
heard
know,
that.
so
Yeah.
there's a lot of unknown of what your competition is actually bidding at, what the purpose of them bidding the project is. So you can't say, oh, am I going to be competitive with my competition? Not all the time you're going to be competitive with them,
Right.
because you don't know what their thought process is.
But you also mentioned risk, right?
Yes.
And I think the clearer the plans are,
Yes.
the clearer the plan notes are,
Yep.
the more defined the scope of the project is, your risk goes down.
Your risk will, or you can mitigate those
Or you
risks.
can mitigate your
you
risk.
can
You
see
know what
those
you're
risks.
getting into.
You can see those risks easier, and you can mitigate it.
Right, but when you have projects that have notes or typical sections or something where there is I could see that 2 or 3 different ways,
Exactly.
then you start to see where the spread is.
Yep.
Well, they thought this,
And
they
we
thought
thought
this,
this, yep.
and they thought this.
Exactly.
And because they have to bid that in.
Yep. It's
You
all
know.
it's all in the interpretation. So everybody's
Yeah.
going to read something and interpret it a little different.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, if the detail is there and it's clear as to what the intention is, then yeah, we can mitigate that risk. Otherwise, it's not clear, and you got to go and look at the spec book, or you got to go and look at at another typical section somewhere else, and then you got to try to piece it together what the intent is
the
for
intent
this.
was.
Then you have to add the additional risk,
Right.
because you don't know.
Right. So the clearer we can be with our plan sets in the PS&E process, the better off. I mean, the department's going to get better numbers. There's going to
Yes.
be less stress.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
If you get the job and you've bid a lot of risk in it, and they
Yep.
interpret it somewhere else, now day one we've already got
And
a
we're already
conflict.
hitting head. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
already banging heads.
And so-
if I interpret it a certain way, but then TxDOT interprets it a different way, and I go in with the notion thinking I'm going to build it this way, and they say, oh no, you can't, and I'm then I'm messed up.
The factor. There we go. I love that. The factor. So again, it's just a matter of, I think, trying to make sure that this show is going out to a pretty broad audience, but we get a lot of consultants, got a lot of DOT people, we get contractors in here as well. But I think part of the Apex program is this knowledge sharing thing.
Right.
And for the agency side, or the folks developing the PS&E, to understand, contractor has to bid that in. if it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where one of the things that we just saw one in this last letting where there was a plan note in there that just did not make any sense at all, which was that the ramifications of that plan note was a lot of money,
Yeah.
depending how you read it.
How you read it.
And so fortunately, the department clarified that. And so hopefully, I don't know who got it, but it worked its way out. But we've got to be able to bring those things up that are.
Yeah, it needs to be
that
talked about so that we can address it and get a little bit more clearer.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things, that kind of bugs me a little bit, but I understand it I'm not a contractor. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not. I got too much hair to be a contractor. I would be flat bald with no mustache because I would pull everything out. I'm already stressed enough doing what I do. But when this brought up, I said, why don't you ask the question? And the answer from the contractor was, well, if I ask the question, then everybody's going to know I asked the question.
And that's a key thing too. A lot of people are reluctant to ask a question
because they're gonna think about they've got
yes,
it angled one way.
And the contractor is saying, okay, if I don't ask the question, but I interpret it this way, I can save time, I can save money, and I get
an edge.
Yes.
I get the job.
Yes. And so there is that reluctancy to ask the question, and I have seen that.
So is that just the way it is, or do we try to? I mean, obviously, when you have a lot of people bidding work, it gets really tight and all that sort of stuff, and everybody's looking for their own little kind of angle.
Their angle,
right? To try to find, well, I can save X, I can save a 0.5% here or 1% here.
I can
we can't
shave
talk
off
about
3
dollars,
weeks.
but or time or whatever. But if we're going into a project and there's something that's just not clear, how come we're not having that? It's just one of those things. Not being a contractor, right? Not being involved in the procurement process. It's just like, why don't we all get on the same page?
Yeah.
And then let everybody bid it out. But I have heard both sides of that, and I'm like, well, just shut up, Jim, and move on to the next thing.
And there's a lot of times where I've seen this as well. You ask a question to TxDOT to get clarification, and their response is just bid it per plan.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get too much involved.
Okay.
Because
if they've got a pipeline to get stuff through,
right.
And so if it's a little thing, maybe we'll just figure it out on the job site.
Yes.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But unless it's like a really big
Unless it's a big item,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, on the smaller stuff, I've seen it. A lot of their response would be bid it at per plan,
okay. We'll figure it out.
and then we'll figure it out on site. Yeah.
I would hate to be one to put those packages in together.
I know. Yeah, I would too.
It's like, hey, just one sentence, right?
Yeah, any
could be
little
$1 million,
thing.
right?
Yes.
And just the way it's interpreted.
Yeah.
And so, I think we all have to just understand that, hey, nothing's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody's going to get it right.
Right.
So, and that's
we
part of
just got to figure out how to sit down and talk it out
And work through
say, hey, what's the best thing to do for the project?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose money.
Yeah. What's the best thing for the project and the customer?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Let's make it a win-win. Work together.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's talk about your plant. We went and saw your plant up in Brownwood a couple months ago, and you're talking about how you run your plant. And I wanted to get back because I wanted to talk about using your senses. At the asphalt plant. We talked about that over a pork chop the other day.
Yeah.
Or I was eating a pork chop. You were eating a sandwich. But tell me about when you're looking at the way you run your plants and the way you're thinking about that, the things that you think about and how you look at that big monster, that multiple $1 million monster, and listen to it.
Yep. So it makes a lot of noise. It's noisy. It's dusty. It's dirty. We try to keep everything maintained and clean so that if something happens, as somebody walks by it, they notice that a sound is different.
Okay.
what I do in my position, because I take a lot of care in making sure that our product is quality every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I start at the feed bin, and I will walk the feed bin, and I will watch the belt. Like when we were in Brownwood with all this rain and stuff that we had last year, we had our stockpiles saturated.
Mm-hmm.
So I would walk along the belts of the feeder bins, and I would see moisture dripping off of the belts. And I would say, this isn't going to work. We got to shut down. Stockpiles are too wet. So I could know that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I would go out and actually put my hand in the stockpiles, and I would check moisture by just visual.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a digital moisture meter that we use.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And it works very well.
Oh, okay.
We've double checked it. It's pretty dang close.
Oh,
So
okay.
it saves us a lot of time in measuring stockpile moisture.
Is that automatically connected, or is it just a visual?
It's just a visual.
So they still have to make an adjustment in the
Yeah.
plant? Okay.
And so we'll adjust that way. I also watch the material come onto the belt just before the scalping screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of watch it, make sure everything looks uniform and there's nothing out of the ordinary. Then I basically just follow the rock all the way to the end.
Okay.
And I'll walk past the drum. You hear it tumble in through the drum. Then when I get to the discharge, I'll stand there, and I have a spade that I'll stick in and pull out a sample, and I'll look at it. Let it
roll
look
off
at
the
it in the
shovel.
shade. I look at it in the sun. I
Okay.
look at it all different directions.
Okay.
And I just am looking for the sheen. I'm looking for the color. And every mix is different. Like if you're doing a dense grade,
Yeah.
it's going to be different than a super paste.
That's a key thing, I think,
Yeah.
for everybody to understand, that every mix is going to have its own look to it.
Its own look.
It's going to have its own texture.
Yeah.
It's going to have its own thing, right? And I
Yeah.
think you gotta calibrate your
You
eyes
got to call
to
it
that.
to what your end product needs to look like.
Yeah.
And so as long as you do that, you can spot a lot of stuff before you get lab results. Because my thing is, it takes 2 hours to get all the lab results.
at a minimum.
So
Yeah.
in that 2 hours, you've just put out 600 tons of asphalt. Well, that 600 tons of asphalt could be all wrong.
Yeah. We're
So-
talking about risk.
Yes, that's a lot of risk. That's where the money comes in.
Sure.
And so for me to stand there, a lot of people say, why do you do that? And I say, well, in that 2 hours time, I just put out $100,000 worth of mix.
Mm-hmm.
So, $33,000, $40,000 worth of mix.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's worth it for me to stand there or double check
Sure.
it from time to time.
Right.
And so what I'm also I don't just look for the look, but I also listen for the sound of it. As the material is dropping down into the drag, you can just hear different you notice the difference. Like if it's clanky or something, then you may need to add fines. Or
Okay.
it depends on the mix as well
Right.
too. But you know what to listen for as that mix falls onto the drag and is being taken up to the silo. So then I can make adjustments to the plant before I even have my lab results.
Okay.
And it saves us a lot of rejected loads or failed sublots. So to me,
So you are fine. You are a good calibrated device.
well,
You work.
I try to
apparently.
be. I try
Apparently,
to
it's
be.
working.
Yes, we.
You guys like good asphalt. I mean,
Yeah, and that's my goal
Yeah.
is to make sure that every load that comes out of our plant is the best quality that it can be.
There you go.
So.
I love that. Let's talk about a little bit about lab testing then. I was up there. You were subbing out some work for staffing and that kind of stuff,
Yep.
and kind of in between people or whatever. And but how important is the testing? And since you've got how does the testing work with the calibrated eyeball and the ears in the process?
And that's the thing I stress to my people in my lab is to make sure that give me the most accurate, true results that you get.
Okay.
Whatever you get, I want to know.
Okay.
No matter how bad or how
Don't-
ugly it
don't-
is,
don't-
don't sugarcoat
Don't
nothing.
sugarcoat it.
I don't want anything sugarcoated.
Okay.
Because to me, I can't correct it if they're sugarcoating it.
Okay.
So if they're saying, oh, it's not that bad, I'm going to just round this number up to make it look a little better. Do not do that.
No.
Do not ever do that.
No.
Because I want to know the reality. Because then I can take the reality and I can adjust the mix and make it the best it can be.
And then you can retune
And
yourself a little
yes.
bit. Yeah, it was just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Just a little bit off, a couple tenths. Okay.
So.
All right, good deal. Something I've kind of talked about, and I talk about some of the stuff that I work with, is I have a saying that don't make a change on a single test result.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you could chase a change all day.
Yeah.
You would chase it all
You
day.
get a little coarser sample because of how you got your sample, and all of a sudden you're adjusting the wrong way.
And then the next
one is
and if you
right.
had let it ride, then your next sample would have been fine.
Yeah.
And it would have passed.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of times that's another thing that you got to be careful of, not to do too many changes. Because I've seen guys where they're changing all day long,
Yeah.
and they're just chasing the change. So sometimes you just have to sit back and be patient and say, no, I have a good feeling that we're producing good mix.
So sometimes the right thing is to do nothing,
Yes.
is to just let it ride and let it.
Yep.
Let's see what the next
And
one
let's
looks
see what
like.
the next one looks like.
And then we have a trend,
Yep.
or we don't have a trend.
Yeah.
And then if we have a trend, then we can make a decision.
And
Are we
then-
gonna do something?
Then we can adjust.
Yeah. But here,
Yeah, just basing a change on one test result is not always the best thing to do.
gotcha. So let's move on. Let's jump out on to anything specific about trucking. I mean, you guys run a lot of your own trucks.
Yeah,
right?
trucking is trucking.
Trucking is trucking.
Trucking.
Okay. And you run bellies or end dumps or both or
Belly dumps,
belly dumps?
tandems, and
Tandems.
a couple end dumps.
Okay.
But we run, for our hauling hot mix, we run belly dumps.
Okay.
So we do windrow pickup.
Okay. And you use variety of MTVs, or do you pretty much standardize on?
We have right now, currently we have the Road Tech.
Okay.
We have two of them.
The big one with
Yeah.
the bin and
With
the
the hopper.
25,
Yes.
2500,
25 ton
Yeah. Okay.
hoppers.
Okay.
So we have two of those.
Okay.
And we have used.
What do you think about that? Because you probably, I mean, if you were an F&F in Arizona, were you pre MTV? They've been around for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Were you using just windrow elevators?
Yes,
at one
the
point?
coal cow.
The Coals?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when we moved to Texas, that's when we got introduced to the shuttle buggy,
Okay.
the
Okay.
MTV.
Okay. You like it?
Yeah, because it can hold the extra tonnage. So when we first moved over to Texas, I would go to different projects and I would have a coal cow as a backup sitting on the side of the
Okay.
road. Just in case
Nothing
the MTV
wrong.
broke down.
Yeah,
and
nothing wrong
we
with
could
it,
we
yeah.
could just tell TxDOT, hey, we can finish this with our coal cow and not have to waste the day
Yeah.
or the loads that are already on the road.
Okay.
So, and they never had a problem with that.
Okay.
So.
Do you keep backup equipment on the job when you can, or depending on the job?
Depending on the job,
Okay.
I try to keep backup equipment. We have two different pavers, and we only have the one paving crew.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're on a bigger project, yeah, I'll bring that second paver just in case. Matter of fact, we bought that second paver as our backup,
Okay.
and I bought it so that it was more versatile too. It's a 555.
Okay.
And so it shrinks down to
So
8 foot. Yes,
eight
but
foot.
it extends out to almost 16.
So you can make it
Yes.
a highway machine if
Yes.
you need to, but you can pave shoulders.
And I can pave shoulders.
And that's the job. That was one of the jobs I was on. You were actually paving shoulder and main line.
Yes, we were doing
Integral.
echelon
Paving.
and that was due to us demoing the SDX
That
screed.
screed,
So
yeah.
Caterpillar was asking us to do the shoulder with our smooth screed and the main line with this SDX screed,
Okay.
so that we could
Okay.
do comparative side by side testing.
Gotcha. The last job I was on that you guys were paving, I was talking to your superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Young guy.
Very young.
And I was like, how long you been doing this? And I think he said 5 years. And man, one of the things I think I've told you guys, or told the crew, and I think I've told you guys is, I go out to a job, I have a checklist in my brain of things I'm looking for that indicate whether they got it or they don't, right? And a lot of times you can see if they don't,
Yeah.
and from not even close. Right? They're like, oh, okay, and I'm not blowing smoke, but you guys do nice work.
Thank
And
you.
I was really impressed with that.
Thank you.
And when I was talking to the superintendent, I can't remember his name,
Jose.
really super nice guy, shout out. I'll give you the $20 next time I see you. Very cordial.
Yes.
But we were talking about cross-training and how important that was. And I wanted to ask you that same question because I was like, damn.
Yes.
Because, excuse me, because I walked around and I talked to him again, and I was like, well, who's running the paver? And he goes, that was a truck driver. Okay? Like a couple weeks ago. And he's running a straight pass, just laser focused going down the roadway, and I'm going, so talk to me about cross-training.
So what we do is I would look for a person, when we're hiring, I look for somebody that's willing to work and willing to learn. I don't care if they have 10 or 15 years experience in paving. I would rather not get a guy that has 10 or 15 years of paving experience because they come with their own set of this is how it's done. And you can't get that out of them. And
there's a lot of type A in asphalt.
Yes, a lot. And so if you bring me a guy that's willing to learn and willing to do the hard work, I can train them and I can make them what I need them to be.
Okay.
And so that's what we look for.
Okay.
We're not looking for the guy that, I have 20 years experience in paving. That tells me, okay, you're set in your ways and you won't adjust.
Okay. You won't do the Keller way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only the Keller way, but so our biggest thing that I noticed throughout the years that I've been involved in asphalt is asphalt changes. Technology has changed.
Yep.
Our equipment has changed. So in order for us to pave, if we stayed paving the way we paved 10 years ago, it won't work. We have to adjust and we have to modify our methods and our techniques to match the new designs and the new technology that's out there in the paving industry.
Take advantage of the technology,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
you're paying for it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You pay for this equipment. Let it do its job. Let it earn its keep. Is my saying. Okay. Let it earn its keep. So let it do the work.
Okay, that I like, and because that was one thing I noticed that I didn't see really anybody behind the paver. I mean, there was a guy or two around, but no one was messing with anything because the paver was set up right.
Yes, and that's our key is we set the paver up, let the paver do its job. They are there in case something haywire goes with the paver and they have to correct it or stop it and handle it.
Got it.
Otherwise, leave it.
Okay.
Let it do its job.
Let it ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, our cross training, we try to make sure that everybody knows everything in the process.
Oh,
so
wow.
we try to make
sure you could drop somebody, hey, I need you to go run the tack truck. I need you to go get on the roller.
I need you to be dump man today. I need you to do the raker today. I need you to do the rolling today. So we make sure that our guys are very versatile. And it does two things. It lets them see the big overall picture so that they understand what the end game is.
Okay.
And to make sure that they know what the quality is. Like our dump man, he has the authority to dump. When he's dumping a truck, if he sees something wrong with it, he calls for the guys to come over and they use the skid steer and they push it off in the ditch and we clean it up later.
Wow.
He has the authority to dump a load or reject. Yes.
Yeah.
And so if he sees the temperatures off or if he sees debris in it, we kick it off. It's not even worth our time to mess with it and try to put it down because all that's going to be is if somebody comes by and sees that, then they're going to say, well, you're just using trash mix. Well, and if it fails later on down the road, that just looks bad on us.
And then
So
you got to go
why?
back and pick it up and redo it anyway.
And we have to, and it's going to cost a lot more.
Yeah.
It's going to cost more for me to lay it down, mill it up, and then replace it later, rather than us just kicking it off to the side and moving on. It's a lot cheaper.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense.
but yeah, we try to make sure that our guys are cross trained that way, so
Do
that
you
they know that-
rotate frequently?
yes.
So it's not like, well, I'm a screed guy and that's all I do now.
Yeah.
It's there now.
we
They
try.
can. They
we
can,
try to move them around.
You
So
try
that
to
they,
move more. That's very interesting
Yeah.
because it's kind of old school thought is you start on the shovel and you
And
work your
you-
way to the
yeah.
rake, you work to the back end, you work
Uh-huh.
way to you work your way up. But you kind of a different model. Everybody's kind of a universal soldier.
Everybody's universal.
Wow.
And that way, if the screed guy winds up calling in sick or
Yep.
something happens,
Yep.
then
You're covered.
Yeah,
You can move.
we're not in a bind.
You're not in a bind.
Yeah, and that's our biggest goal, is to make sure that we don't get in a bind. If we have, because when we're paving, we have to pave,
Yeah.
no matter what. And so, and it's no different than me. I tell my people, like Jose, I tell him, and I tell all my superintendents and people that I will train you. I will teach you every single thing I know. There's nothing that I know that I will not give you the tools to learn as well. Because at the end of the day, if I were to croak tomorrow, the project still has to go.
Right.
It's not going to stop.
Right.
So what benefit is it to me to hold on to all that knowledge and not share it? So, and the same with our people.
Yeah.
They need to know so that they can see the overall picture, the end goal of the quality. And then they know, like our dump man, he
Yeah.
knows that, hey, if I don't reject this load, it's going to turn into trash at the back
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to reject it.
That's a kind of a cool legacy
Yeah.
from that perspective. Looking at it is like, hey, if I disappear tomorrow, they carry on.
And without
right?
skipping a beat.
Without skipping a beat.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, because I remember, it was like, I'm not going to let anybody know anything about my job because I got to make sure I got to,
Yeah,
I got to
wanna-
be here.
Yeah,
Right?
I want to make sure I keep my job.
Yeah. And
Whereas,
I'm just going to tell you enough
yeah,
to do that, but I'm not going to let you
I'm not-
learn enough to think on your own to make good
Exactly.
decisions. You're just going to kind of be the robot, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a question, come back and tell me, and I'll give you enough.
And then I'll give you-
And and you've blown that whole thing up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know other folks have done that too, but that's a different mindset.
yeah, you have to put yourself in that mindset.
Yeah.
In order, otherwise you're just setting your whole project up, your whole operation up for failure.
Wow. That's cool. I love that. We're talking about pavers. You've already kind of talked about making sure it's set up. I know you've tried that experimental screed.
Yeah.
We're not advertising. What do you think of something like that?
I like it. It has its benefits
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
I really do. I like it.
Okay.
Like I said, it has its benefits.
Has its place?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it does good job. So, and
But you guys
they're
don't,
still
you guys
doing
don't seem like you're afraid of trying something.
no, and that's the thing I always tell my guys as well. Think outside the box.
Okay.
Don't and it goes back to the whole how mixed designs and paving was 10 years ago. It's totally different now.
Yeah.
So do not think about paving the way we paved it 10 years ago. Think about it as a whole new, this is day one. Nobody's ever paved until today.
Wow.
And let's figure it out.
Wow, that's cool.
And so that way
I love that.
we stay innovative. And that way we can adapt to the changing mixes, and we can adapt to the change of the equipment and the technology that's out there.
Got it. Talk about compaction, rollers, okay? Because we talked about that, I think, the other day. We were talking about you like to actually, we kind of tend to preach, get on it as soon as you can get on it.
Uh-huh.
And that has its place, right?
Yes, and it all depends on the mix.
It all depends on, again, we get back mix specific.
Mix and oils.
Mix and oil, asphalt content, type of oil, type of binder, et cetera, and a process. But you were saying, I mean, you like to do like a lay down pass, a
Yes.
static pass, and then
Static.
you vibe.
Yep, because we've noticed on some of the on these new mixes, and it depends. Like I said, it depends on the mix. That when you come in with the vibe first as your breakdown, as your first initial roll, you're creating that tsunami wave out in front
The
of
little bow wave in front of the roller.
out in front of the roller.
Yeah.
And all you're
right,
doing
right here,
exactly
right there.
and
Okay.
and you'll watch it throughout the whole process. If you're vibing it, you'll notice that roller is not actually setting the mix. It's just constantly moving it.
It's shoving it.
Yeah, it's constantly just moving.
So by that static pass, it sets it,
Yes, we're setting that mix first.
and then you
we start
apply
our
your
vibe.
energy.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So it actually, that static roll sets it, and then we can start actually getting our compaction.
Are you one roller up front, or you two roller up front?
It all
guy?
depends on how fast we're going and
Okay.
what the need is. So we do
Okay.
have enough rollers to cover if we needed two, but
Okay.
generally we have one.
Okay.
And then the breakdown roller usually is the intermediate roller, and then we have a finish roller.
Okay.
So unless
Do you try to run the similar size equipment?
Yes.
So they can swap, kind of like your
Yep.
cross training?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Good deal. Let's talk about ride.
Uh-huh.
Well, obviously, if you've got the machine set up, you got the paver set up.
Yes, as long as you're well, there's two different aspects that go into the ride. So your paver will get it as smooth as it can, and that's the technology.
Yeah.
We use the ride control, and we do the
Grade control,
grade
yeah.
control, and everything
Are
else.
you dual ski?
We have
Or
a
ski and
we have a ski and
cross-slope?
yeah,
Or
and a
ski and
cross-
joint matcher?
and joint matcher.
Is that what you typically do?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Because
so
I
in
had
the-
somebody in just recently, and they were like, "Hey, we run dual skis." I was
And
like,
and
"Hey,
that's how we
whatever
did
works
it.
for you.
And that's how they do it at F&F. They run the dual skis.
Okay.
And so it's all just personal preference, I think.
Okay.
But where we've gotten into it, we just use the machine and we just use the one ski,
Okay.
and then the joint matcher.
Got it.
But your screed gets it as smooth as it's going to get it. Then your roller operators have to be careful, because if they're not going off if they're doing too sharp of an angle or not enough angle, or they're stopping on that fresh hot mat,
Yep.
then it's going to leave that bump,
Yeah.
and you're going to feel it in the ride.
Yeah.
So our rollers, the only time we try to do it is when we have trouble, is when we're doing the first initial pass and there's nowhere for the rollers to roll off.
Okay.
And so they have no choice. So what we try to do is we try to make that initial pass to where it's not going to be noticed, where we pull the roller off and park the roller at an angle so where it's trying to not be noticeable in the ride.
Gotcha.
So
Perfect.
It's just, you just have to be cognizant of the fact that the rollers play a big part in the ride.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got 3 rules. Get density. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, don't mess up the ride.
Right.
And number 3, do no harm.
And
Right. Those are my three roller rules.
yeah.
So let's talk about air voids, density, that sort of stuff. I mean, obviously if you're consistent, you're going to get consistent,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And that's the other part of being consistent, putting out consistent mix. The more consistent your mix is, the better off more consistent your compaction on the roadway is. So your end product is going to be more consistent.
How does your level 2 interface with the roller guys? Your density guy on the field.
So our level 2,
I'm sorry,
our
you're 1B. I'm sorry.
our
my bad.
1B. So
You're
our 1B.
My bad.
You're
You're
all right.
1B.
The 1B, he is the person that is in charge of the rollers.
Oh, okay.
Our 1B he is their boss.
Oh,
So he is there
okay.
he does his spot checks right behind the paver, so
Okay.
he knows what the compaction is right at the paver. He's spot checking all the rollers. He creates the rolling pattern. He double checks the rolling pattern throughout the day,
Okay.
and anytime he needs the rollers to do something different, he tells them. And
So he picks the mix up after it's come out of the screed, and that's his office.
Yep.
Okay.
And he takes it all the way until the
Wow.
end, until the finished roller is done.
Okay.
So yeah, he's the one that controls the rollers.
Cool.
The rollers do what he says.
All right.
So
And how do you guys do on bonuses? You don't have to give me numbers, but you guys do pretty well.
We hit.
Do you have a target?
My target is max. Do I get it?
100%.
No. No,
it's good to have a target, though,
Yeah.
right? Some people it's like, hey, as long as we're not taking mix up, we're okay. It's like, oh, no, that's
Yeah.
not the right way.
No,
we ought to be, you 50, 60, you shoot for 70 or 80% of the target of
Yeah.
the potential
the potential. Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
bonus.
So
Okay.
what is available and what we've actually earned in the past, we're probably close to 50%
Okay.
on average
Okay.
of that bonus.
Okay.
So I mean, we're not killing it, but we're doing good.
But there's an opportunity there.
Yes.
So they're good, hey, this year let's try to
And let's try to increase.
go a little, let's get to
And-
55 or let's get to
Yes.
60% or something like that.
And so when we notice ride problems, then I bring it up to the crew and say, hey. And so what our crew does too is at the begin they'll pave like today, tomorrow morning right before they start. The foreman and the superintendent will get in the truck and they drive it.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, oh, okay, I know what happened there. I know what happened.
Let's not do that
bump,
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bump was because of this. That bump was
Okay.
because of that.
Okay.
And then that way they're constantly learning
So
and
they're getting
improving.
that feedback loop.
Yes.
Right? In the process.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I think that's awesome. That's awesome. Balancing ride bonus versus density bonus. I've had discussions with people about that. Is that something you guys have a discussion about? Because I can
Not really.
If I have a really trying to get density, I'm going to beat the hell out of it and excuse
Yes.
the language, but then that may screw up my ride.
And that's going to mess up the ride.
my ride a little bit. Do I try to find the happy median in there?
And a lot of times we try to do that.
Yeah.
It's just
hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's real hard.
It's hard.
So
But
I don't put a lot of.
If you're riding every day,
Yes.
you're going, okay, well, every day ought to be incrementally
Yeah.
a little
We're
bit.
getting improvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love it. All right, so a couple other questions. What does TxDOT need to know about how a contractor thinks? What would benefit them if they understand get in your brain, okay? And if they looked at it the way you look at it, what would you tell them what they need to think about?
My experience with TxDOT has actually been pretty positive.
Okay.
So I've not struggled with anything with TxDOT
Okay.
as far as what they need to know
Okay.
or what they need to think or know how we think.
Okay.
Because and I've probably been lucky.
Okay.
I don't know how other people.
Well, you've worked in a bunch
interactions-
of districts.
We've worked in a lot of districts.
Yeah.
But we have been really lucky, and the districts and the areas that we have worked have been very open-minded
Okay.
and willing to work with us.
Well, there's two things right there.
And so, yeah. And
It's
so
not my way or the highway. It's
Ex-
like, hey, let's figure out how
let's
to build
figure
this
out
thing.
exactly.
Right.
And that's the key to us is let's work together to figure this
Okay.
out.
Got it.
And the thing is, I tell them, you guys are free to come and talk to my people.
Oh.
You can get on the screed. You can do whatever you want because this is your road.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can do whatever you want. You guys can ask any questions you want. We got nothing to hide. So if we can help you understand where we are and
Yeah.
what we do, then it benefits everybody.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, I have never had a problem with or any issues where TxDOT did not understand us.
Okay. I love it. I love it. So what's the hardest part of your job now? Everything?
Well, just being stuck there at the plant and just
Yeah. Trying to be in multiple, you want to be in multiple places?
yes, because there's times where I used to be able to be at the plant like for an hour, and then I'd be at the road for an hour, and back and forth all day long. Well, now I'm just kind of stuck at the plant, watching the plant, making sure that mixes as best it can be.
Okay.
So, and then which in turn, a lot of times the road is being, in my mind, is being maybe neglected. So I'd like to spend a little bit more time out there, but right now it is what it is. So I just need to focus on the plant. But eventually, if I can get the right people in our lab and our quality control portion, then
Their ear trained.
and get them trained.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
the
my
right
biggest thing is making sure that they understand it and they are trained
Got it.
to understand what to look for and listen for. Then I can step back.
Okay.
And then I'll have more time and I can actually do what I'm supposed to do. But for right now,
While they're busy making a clone of you, right?
right? and I wish.
Or a drone that can fly the whole thing and do that. So we always ask in this program, we started, I think, at the beginning and said, King for the day. Okay? You get to change anything. Anything. What is it and why?
That's a big loaded question.
Yeah, and we've had non-business related.
A winning lottery ticket so I can retire.
There you go. As long as it's a big winning lottery ticket.
A big lottery.
Not a $20 one. Good deal. What else?
Shoot,
We cover it?
pretty much. I mean,
Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
That long drive up here?
The only thing that if I were king for the day, like I said,
Yeah.
I would have somebody that I would have everything in place to where I could be at that 30,000 to 50,000 foot elevation, overseeing everything.
Okay.
But other than that, I think
It sounds like you're working towards that,
we are definitely working towards that.
and I commend you guys for doing that.
It just takes time to
Your
get the
whole
people
organization.
trained and
Corey
and
and
make
the whole
sure.
group.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, and I'm super glad you decided to acquiesce to my request
Yeah.
and come on in and sit down, and we really appreciate it. And,
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm
appreciate the
planning
time.
to make myself more known around and come to more TxDOT meetings and things.
Good.
Make myself more available.
Good.
So,
You got a lot of good stuff to say.
thank you.
You got a lot of stuff to say. All right, folks. Well, that's all the time we got today. Just to remind everybody that, again, all these programs are going to be on YouTube and Apple Podcast and Spotify shortly. And so glad to have you guys participate today. A lot of good stuff. A lot of little nuggets in this conversation today, and I knew that's what we were going to get, and I'm really glad we were able to sit down and do that. So, Corey, thank you again.
Brandon.
Brandon, thank you again. Corey, thank you for letting him come, and we're just so grateful. So we'll see you next time on Everyday Asphalt. Take care, everybody. Be safe out there.